Okay, so this says solve for variable a. So you'd say, okay, in this equation here, there's only one a, correct? So we're just trying to get a alone. Now notice, isn't it in the denominator? Meaning the bottom of the fraction. So we need to bring it to the top somehow. So how would we get rid of divide by 4a? Multiply by 4a, right, everybody? Okay, so if we do that to this side, we know that we're doing it and it divides out. Now there's two terms over here, so make sure you use parentheses because we're timesing that entire side by 4a. So now we're at this point with our true statement. So we would rewrite 2x plus 3y equals parentheses b plus c times 4a. Now don't be that person then that distributes because that's what feels natural. Keep your goal in mind. I am trying to get a all by itself, correct? So it would not make sense to distribute because then we have two a's and we only want one a, don't we? To solve for the one a. So what would be our next step? Trying to get a alone. Divide by b plus c. Divide by b plus c. Okay? So then it would divide out. Now here's a recommendation. When you say divide by a at this point, it can get confusing. So let me just rewrite one more time, just to keep things nice and pretty. So we're gonna kind of think more advancedly so that our algebra comes out right. So a lot of people at this point will say divide by 4. So then let's divide this entire side by 4. But that's gonna be off a little bit. It's just the answer is not going to be considered in simplified form, if that makes sense, if you do it that way. It's not that it's actually wrong, it's just not considered simplified. So what would be a better way to maybe think about, let's get rid of 4? Couldn't we times by 1/4, everyone? That's going to be best. So let's times by 1/4, then times this side by 1/4, and then it will put it in simplified form for you. Does that kind of help everyone? So now look, 4 and 4 divide out. So now look over on this side of the equation. Now look on top. We have 1 times all that stuff. Is that going to change all the stuff on top? No, because 1 times anything is itself. So on top we would have 2x plus 3y. And on bottom I need my parentheses. I could distribute 4, but not necessary. So I have 4 parentheses b plus c. Does that kind of make sense to everybody? A little trick when it comes to getting rid of a times sign. Times by the reciprocal. That's the same thing as division. All right, okay, let's do another one. This is review from last time. So just a reminder, it says solve for variable x. Now notice there's 2 x's. Do you remember the process we took to do this? Get everything with x on one side, anything that doesn't have an x on the other side. So let's go ahead and subtract 2x. And then this doesn't have an x. So can I add that at the same time to the other side so that I'm getting everything with an x on one side, anything that doesn't have an x on the other side? Does everybody see what I'm doing? Okay, so now let's rewrite what we have. Negative 3y plus z plus 2 is equal to ax minus 2x. And now from here on this side, what would we do? Factor out an x, divide by x, divide by x. So then left would be a minus 2. And then we're at our last and final step. So now we would divide both sides by a minus 2. Make sure you really know that process when you're going into your exam. And we have solved for x. X is by itself. Okay. Just a good quick review from last time. All right. Hey, find the domain. So remember, if we're dealing with fractions and there's a variable in the denominator, which means the bottom once again, what would be our truth statement? You can't have a 0 in the bottom, so what's my truth statement to set up? 6x minus 1 can't be 0, so then we would add 1. 6x cannot be 1, divide by 6. X cannot be 1/6. Now, I want to just say something, okay? So we know our answer. I was letting you write it like this last time. We said all real numbers except x just cannot be 1/6. Now think about it. Here's my x values going left and right forever. Like think about x values. Here's 0. Okay, there are a bunch of negative numbers that go to infinity, right? Negative infinity. And there are a bunch of positive numbers going to positive infinity. So can't we be any of those numbers except 1, 6, everybody? We can be any number except once we get to, so here we come in. We can plug in any number from negative infinity. We're going. Once we hit 1, 6, we've got to jump over 1, 6, right? We can't be a 6, we've said. So we jump over a 6, and then can't we keep going forever to infinity? Does everybody see how that works? The only number we have to jump over is a 6, like right here. Right here is 1, 6. We can be all this stuff, but we get to 1, 6, and we've got to like jump over it, and then we can continue this way forever. So how we can write that in interval notation is, this domain in interval notation would look like this. Negative infinity up to 1, 6. Now you gotta put a parenthesis around 1, 6 because we can't be 1, 6, and a parenthesis means not including. Then we're gonna jump over 1, 6, and we're gonna then head to infinity. Now we also, the way we write it in 1010 is we say union, which just means like both of these together, united. So do you guys see how that works? It's coming in from negative infinity, it gets to a 6, jumps over a 6, and then heads to infinity. And then the parenthesis is saying not a 6. Does that make sense how to write it in interval notation? Okay. Hopefully it does. We'll get more practice with that throughout the year. I can't remember, how did it list it in the back of the book for you guys? Like this? In interval notation or like this? In the back of the book, how did it list it? Oh, it did this? Yeah. Awesome. So we're just kind of at that point right now, because in the future they make us do it like this. So good practice, because both are correct. All right. Sweet. Okay, let's get to 1.4, linear inequalities. Now this is very similar to a linear equation, which is what we did in 1.1, solving a linear equation, such as x minus 4 equals 2. So to solve for x, we would add 4, we know. We get x equals 6. That's a linear equation. Now look at a linear inequality. Hold on. I'm going to push stop on my video here.